Hey everybody, Michael here from Replica Airguns with another shooting video here in the C-Can, the Airgun indoor shooting range, and I've got my .43 caliber paintball gun. This is the Walther PPQ M2, and a nice gun. I did a tabletop video for this gun already, so check it out if you're interested in specs and things like that. So right now we're gonna do some cronnying. We're gonna see what kind of feet per second we get. I'm gonna be using the rubber balls today. These black rubber balls, they're probably a little bit heavier, I'm assuming, than the paintballs. It's kind of hard to tell. They're not super heavy, but they may be a little heavier than the paintballs. But I don't want to make a mess in the C-Can with paint flying everywhere. So we're going to use rubber balls for this testing. And I know some of you like to know what the rubber ball feet per second rating is going to be, because some of you might be using these as non-lethal sort of, guns if you're going to use it for some sort of protection. I don't know how effective they are. I'm not saying they are, but I'm just saying some of you might try to use them for that. So this might help you understand what's going on, at least feet per second wise. Okay, so we're going to put 3 rounds through the cronny and see what kind of feet per second we get. Do I have a safety on? No. Whoa, 293, nice. 331.9. and 323.8. I notice with the heavier spring right now with these balls, trigger feels a little heavier because it's pushing, basically it's pushing up the ball forward, and just the way that it works is like basically what happens is the barrel comes in and seals the ball into the magazine. So while that's happening, there's a little bit of friction on the trigger. It did feel a little heavier than I was used to with the paintballs. I think the paintballs seem to go a little slicker. Hopefully that won't affect my accuracy, but if you're shooting quick, you're not really going to notice it so much. It looks like I shot a little bit low on the target here. I wasn't really aiming that much. So now we're going to shoot basically a whole magazine on the target here from 30 feet away and see what kind of accuracy we get. I've got my paper target set up, 30 feet downrange, 8 rounds in the mag here. I know the specifications say 9. I'm not sure where we got those from, but not really accurate. It's actually 8 in the mag. You're not going to fit a 9th one in there. It's just not going to work. So it's 8 rounds in the mag. There's no 1 round in the chamber option either, because they're basically the barrel comes into the magazine as you pull the trigger, sealing it off, creating basically less loss of CO2, so more power, probably better blowback action. As you saw, we were getting up to the 330 feet per second. Not bad for a heavy rubber paintball. So we're gonna try and get 8 rounds as nicely placed into this target as we can. I'm gonna shoot the first round dead center, see where it hits, and then kind of go from there. We might adjust. That felt pretty good. They're fine, I think. Wow, that one went off quick. That's it. Looked like we had a couple go down and weird. Let's go take a look at it anyways. We'll go up there and take a look. All right. What do we got going on here? Huh. It's almost like I've shot this target before and didn't even notice it on paper. Did I get... Anyways, you're going to know that the big ones are the paintball ones. Did I not see these when I put the target up? It looks like we had some rounds come out. I don't remember seeing them when I put the target up there. Anyways, maybe I'm getting blind in my old age. But we definitely have a round here, around here, around here, around here, around here, around here, and around here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 8 right there. Might have been 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Those ones look like they're from a different time than I shot. Not sure why it would have gone that way. Anyways, so we've got a bigger group than we're used to in terms of shooting BB guns, right? Like obviously BB guns, you've got a metal ball. It's going down a barrel that's a lot different. There's definitely a little more free flow in the barrel like this, because if you have too tight a barrel with paintball, you could potentially have some breakage and things like that. And I did notice that the rubber balls almost seemed a little smaller in diameter than the paintballs, because it's like the magazine seemed a little fuller with the paintball, so I'm thinking their diameter's a little bit bigger, just the way they go into the mag. I also noticed when I shot with the rubber balls that there was a lot more friction as the inner barrel kind of came into the magazine. With the paintballs, I didn't notice it as much. Now, I was kind of outside just shooting real quick. Sometimes when you're just pulling that trigger real quick, not so much for accuracy, you don't notice the trigger weight as much. When you're shooting for accuracy, you do notice trigger weight a lot more because you're trying to be more precise. It's not terrible or anything, it's just that I noticed it. When you're shooting, if I was shooting this in a hurry and I was just shooting at somebody on the run or something like that, paintball situation, you really wouldn't notice the trigger pull too much. It'd be totally fine. And this type of grouping at 30 feet, you know, if I'm shooting a person in the torso, in the midsection, every single round would have hit them. So that's not a problem. We're not going for like, you know, pop can size objects too much. Or we're going for like people size objects, torsos, things like that. So definitely going to work. Nice high FPS. The gun feels good. It's got a nice heavy blowback action. Gun has great weight, super realistic looking. You know, I wouldn't want to be on the receiving end of this gun, especially with rubber balls in it, let alone paintballs up close, right? So if you are going to use this for some sort of non-lethal situation, you know, I'm not saying it's going to work for it, but probably better than you know, like maybe I don't know. I mean, maybe a baseball bat would be better. I don't know. But anyways, better than nothing, right? So pretty cool, neat gun. Check it out on our Canada and US Replica Airgun store over at replicaAirguns.ca for Canada, replicaAirguns.us for the US. Also check out my field or my tabletop video that I did where I go into specifications and things like that if you're interested. All right, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Check us out on Facebook and Twitter. Username is Replica Airguns. Check out our posts, articles, reviews over at replicaAirguns.com. All right, thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.